Well, good morning, everyone. Thomas Montgomery, great to be with you. Today is Tuesday, February 24th, 2026. Now, February, as I think you all know, is the shortest month of the year. So we're almost to the end of February. We're almost to the beginning of March. So, those of us that are entrepreneurs like you and I, those of us that are business owners like you and I, we tend to plan. So, we can't just do, we also need to plan. And so, as we get ready to wrap up February, we should be planning for March. And the question that I have for each of you today, it's not a joke, it's not sarcasm, it's not too good to be true, but the question to each of you is, would you like to have an extra 250,000 US dollars in March? So that's our topic today. And I think by the end of our conversation, you'll realize that that is a real legitimate question that you control the decision on, yes or no. Now, in the background, we have SPE funding. That's our resource site. The bottom line is we're here to help entrepreneurs legally and ethically qualify for funding. There's lots of people that want money and need money, and frankly, there's lots of lenders that want to loan money. The problem is that the gap between the borrowers and the lenders is that most borrowers are not qualified. And so, what we do through the SPE is we transfer to them a business with the three C's, as we've talked about many other times. If you're not familiar, that's credit collateral capacity. So that's the big picture. To get involved, it's real simple, spefunding.com. There's no upfront cost. There's training on one, training on two. We ask everyone to go through this training because we never want to hear another client come back and say, "Oh, I didn't know that," or "No one told me that." We want everyone to have a very thorough understanding of this legal and compliance strategy. It's aggressive, it's creative, it is effective, but it's different. And so we do want individuals to be properly familiar with it, and that's available on demand. And then if you want to use the SPE structure for your capital raise, or if you're referring a client as an affiliate, which is down here, then we get that done right here on step three. But let's go back to this conversation. We're going to go into some real details because I think sometimes when we talk about big numbers in a short amount of time, some people will be skeptical or pessimistic. And often it's because not everyone's like you and I. Not everyone has made a lot of money in a short period of time. Therefore, to the person that's never done that, it seems impossible. It seems too good to be true, but it's not at all. So let's go through and provide evidence and details of how that would work if your answer is yes. All right, so as I mentioned in my introduction, the concept behind the SPE is to provide the SPE participant, the grant participant, a fundable business with the three C's. It's so important that we understand the three C's. Without understanding the three C's, we are improperly prepared for a successful capital raise because this, in summary, is what lenders are looking for. So maybe we don't care about it, but the lenders do. Therefore, we better care about it. Otherwise, we're not going to get an approval, an acceptance. So, credit is the first of the three C's. I talk to people all the time, and frequently they want to explain away. Well, no, I'm going to do everything through my business, and personal credit won't matter, right? Wrong. I mean, your business would have to be very, very well established for normal business lenders to not care about personal credit. We know that that can be a barrier, not a problem. We provide a cosigner. Is there also something called business credit? Of course. We take care of that. We add trade lines. So credit it will not be a barrier that keeps us from raising capital because we're going to fix any problems that exist. We're going to make sure we have strong business credit by adding trade lines, and we're going to provide a cosigner if personal credit's an issue. So check that box. Second of the three C's, normal business lenders care about collateral. Typically, any business loan more than about $50,000 in general, lenders will want to see collateral, sometimes less than that. And so with collateral, it's usually dollar for dollar. A lot of people don't have it. We know that, not a problem. It's built in. It comes with the SPE. Check that box. The most complicated of the three C's for us to have evolved, to have brought forth an iteration that solves this problem is it's around capacity, cash flow. So, to no surprise, lenders like to loan money to businesses that can demonstrate their ability to repay the loan. Kind of makes sense. Now, forever and a day, we've put together, and we continue to do it, put together projections and say, okay, lender, loan us the money. Here's how we're going to use it. And here's our projected future income. And that's an important, necessary piece. But I can tell you without question, lenders are increasingly concerned about, separate from the optimism of what might happen in the future, can you really afford the loan that you're wanting to borrow right now? So then it comes down to the structure of the loan. What do we need the money for? Well, I need money to buy a restaurant. Well, of course, you're going to be pre-revenue up until the point you buy the restaurant and open it under your control. There's no way around that. So then in that case, they wouldn't expect the restaurant to already be making money, but they would look at the borrower's other income, other businesses and or personal income and say, okay, do you have enough money that could afford to pay these bills in case the restaurant doesn't take off? So even for a pre-revenue company, we can get funding, but the lender is going to still want to feel confident that the borrower can repay from other sources. So the short of it is, we really need to bring all three C's. Historically, that's been a barrier. People didn't have credit. Well, we've always been able to address credit. Sometimes people didn't have collateral. We've always been able to fix collateral. But now we can fix the third C. Well, how does that work? Specifically, how does that work? Let's not talk generically high level. Tell me how you're going to put money into the client's bank account. Real money, real deposits. That's not a loan, doesn't have to be paid back. So the way that we work with the third C is that we'll do the marketing, we'll do the lead generation. Because remember, the SPEs are set up as management consulting firms. That doesn't mean that the client has to want to be a management consultant. The SPE is the structure to get the money, and then the SPE can then move the money to other entities or other purposes that the client wants. But the SPE itself is normally set up as a management consulting firm. Well, what do? We go out and do the marketing and lead generation and client development. So we literally we become the marketing arm of the SPE. And we bring the SPE, not leads, not prospects, but 25 contracted clients. And we're going to dig into this and look at what that looks like in just a moment. Each of these contracted clients owes the SPE at least 10,000. Well, do the math. 25 clients, each owing 10,000. That is going to bring $250,000 in the month of March. So it's very important that everyone understands that third C. I know it's a little bit more complicated, but businesses should make money. The SPE will make money the very first month. And by the fact that the SPE has the credit, the collateral, and the capacity from the first month, we're able to then go borrow large amounts of money. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, so let's continue on. So I want to have clarity and maybe more than that, confidence. I want you to understand that this is real, that it's not make believe. Because sometimes we talk to clients and all they can think about is debt. Yeah, how are you going to get me that loan? How are you going to get me that loan? Well, sure, that's what we're working towards. But do you not see value in earned income? Do you not see the value of having 250,000 of real money coming in the first 30 days? Does that not interest you? It might surprise you. It surprises me. Some people don't seem to care about earned income. All they can think about how are they going to take on debt. But we need earned income to qualify for the debt. The model provides that, and we're going to go through that in great detail. So the first thing that we do is we provide a landing page and an e-contract. So whomever is operating the SPE, if they want to operate, they're not required to operate it. But if they want to operate it, then we're going to set it up where it's an open operational management consulting firm. And so, in addition to the 25 contracted clients that we provide, not taking away from that, but in addition to that, we're going to have that SPE set up and open so they can start bringing in additional clients above and beyond that 25 if they wish and start making even more money. And so, hopefully that makes sense. So we're going to provide a landing page and an e-contract that's branded to the client themselves. Now, as far as these 25 already contracted clients, I thought we might want to actually look at one so we understand it specifically. So I've prepared that. So give me a moment. So what we explain is that we're going to go out and do the lead generation and marketing. And so what will happen is clients will contract with us. And then what we're going to do is legally transfer those clients from us over to the SPE. So let's look at one of the true actual contracts, not just a theoretical sample, but a real example. So we had a client, his name's Harley. So Harley came in. He filled out the app. Harley doesn't have a business right now. So the top half of his business app is blank. And that's okay because he came to us to get an SPE. Now he's getting the SPE through you. So instead of him paying us, he's going to pay you for the SPE. That way you have the capacity. We're going to provide the services. Now you're making money. Now we qualify for the loan after 30 days. So Harley's a real person. Harley Yamato, great guy. He's not currently a business owner, so normally he would put owner or CEO or whatever, but he's an employee. And here's his phone number. I guess you can call Harley if you want, but you don't really need to. Here's his email. Here's his real address. So he has filled out an application so we can go ahead and get him his first tranche of funding so he can pay you, right? Because we're going to assign his contract to you and he's going to pay you. So he filled this out and then we went to our lender network without any hard inquiries. And let me scroll down. Harley got, and you can imagine he qualifies for a lot, right? Because he's got pretty decent credit, 690. He has crazy high income, 62,000 a month. He's got big boy income. So what happens when people are a homeowner, which adds to their credibility, has high credit, high income? Harley ended up getting over 100 unique cash offers that he can select from. Real cash offers right out of the chute, right away. And then with that, the total amount that he has available to him right now, even before we get to the finish line, he has access to over $500,000 right now. What a great start. So can you see how it works, right? So we're going out, we're doing the marketing, we're getting the client, like Harley, who's real. We're transferring Harley and these other contracts to you. So now Harley is paying you, not us. So let's go into the more details of the money flow. So with this, Harley is going to pay you the $5,000 deposit. Now, he could pay out of pocket, but most likely he won't. Most likely he'll pay out of one of these 100 cash offers. He only owes you 5,000 initially because that's the way the model is set up. We get clients financing for the deposit, and then they're going to pay you 5,000 up front. So what's going to happen? We're going to transfer 25 Harleys to you. And so 25 times 5,000 is your upfront income. Now, is that all that Harley's going to pay you? No, because Harley's also going to be paying you off the back end after the capital raise. And again, he's not paying out of pocket for the 5,000, it's coming out of the financing. But right away, you can see if we transfer 25 clients and they're upfront paying you 5,000, that is $125,000 of real US dollars really deposited into your business bank account this month, plus the money on the back end that comes after the larger capital raise. It's great. It's great. So you just need to make sure you understand it. We're not asking these SPE clients to learn about how to do everything. The SPE is meant to be the capital raise instrument. So we provide the back office services. So does Harley really become your client? He does. Contractually, legally, he's your client, but we provide the back office services. So we're going to then work with Harley to get him up to the guaranteed 250,000 minimum capital raise. So we do all that back office work, and then you get paid again on the back end, as I mentioned. So I want to pause here for a moment. Does this make sense to you all, how you're going to be getting money from this model through the third C? Does that make sense? So yeah, Kevin mentions, Kevin, I think, wants to open SP, and Kevin's asking, could Harley be assigned to him? Sure, sure, sure. So the bottom line is we're really good at generating clients, and then we can legally and lawfully transfer those clients to you, to your SPE. Now they're paying you, and you have the strong capacity in addition to the strong collateral, in addition to the strong credit. And then you might say, oh, no, my credit's not so good. Well, what have we said several times? And we have training on it right here. If your credit is a problem, we can provide a cosigner for free. So this is the key. That's why this is so strong, is we're literally able to provide all three C's to get funding. All right, so let's scroll down a bit. So as we talk about March, so again, we're wrapping up February. Hopefully you've had a very profitable month in February. I know we have, and I suspect most of you have had a very profitable month in February. So as we look at March, though, the opportunity is to literally make at least 250,000 in cash flow in March. And then by having a strong month, and we don't have to have 250,000 to have a strong month, but by having a strong month, by having the demonstrated capacity as well as collateral, as well as credit worthiness, then we can qualify for the funding. Very difficult to go get funding if we don't have the three C's. Our model, the SPE model, provides the three C's. All right, so when we look at March, our SPEs are designed to be the capital raising entity, the structure. Each SPE owner has the option, do they want to own and operate the SPE or not? They don't have to. If they don't want to, we're still going to provide the 25. We're still going to provide 25 Harleys to them, even if they don't want to do any operational work. They don't want to operate the management consulting firm. They still get the 25. But they very well could double or triple that by actually running the business. And that makes a lot of sense, right? If you own a management consulting business, why wouldn't you want to operate it? You might say, oh, I'm too busy or I'm too smart or whatever. Then you can always delegate and hire staff, right? Owning a business doesn't mean you have to work at the business. Some of the wealthiest people don't work at their business, but they own a business. But as I've described with the SPE, you have three options. You can either own it and operate it, or you can own it and delegate where it's still operational, but it's not you operating it. Or thirdly, we can just not operate it and you'll still get the 25 Harleys. But for those of you that see it as, frankly, I do, this is meant to generate income. It's a good way to help people and generate income that you can go generate your own Harleys. You can go generate your own clients. And for those that do that, not everyone does, they're normally averaging one client a day, five a week. As we just showed, you're getting 5,000 upfront for each one. So it's not get rich quick, but five a week at 5,000 a pop brings in 25,000 weekly, 100,000 a month. So again, that's on top of what we're providing. So again, if you're not very proactive, not very motivated, just take what we're going to give you and do nothing else. But you're really leaving a lot of opportunity on the table. With the SPE, we're putting together feasibility data to really look at how this management consulting firm could prosper in a given community. And we talk about feasibility data here in this training. And so it's the real deal. We hope that everyone would operate the SPE because we can go help collectively more people together, but it's okay if you don't want to. So we have whatever you want to generate plus what we provide to you in month one. We are not promising to provide you this every month. We're promising to provide you 25 Harleys in month one, but month one alone, because that'll be enough to go get funding. And then if you want to operate it thereafter, you can, but you don't have to operate it thereafter. So what we want to do is work with each client, get prepared between now and the end of the month. So we got a few days of February to get everything set up. And then in March, we want to really flood these SPE bank accounts with money coming in, real money. And I see KE's asking a question. That's right. So the money that, let's say that KE owns a SPE, the money that goes into their account, it's real, it's their account, they can spend it. So it's not that at the end of the month that we have to show that we have 250,000 saved up in our business bank account to qualify for a loan. No, they're just looking for the deposits. Do we have enough money coming in that we could afford to pay the loan once issued in subsequent months? Yeah, so I hope you do understand it's real money really coming in that you can use. So, with that being said, as I mentioned, we're going to make sure that your first month is extraordinarily successful because we're going to bring you those 25 Harleys. After that, though, again, it's up to you as we've discussed already. So, what questions do any of you have? My goal today, I just type the questions, if you will, into the Q&A. It's like a chat function of Zoom, is to really pose this question. We have 636 of you on at this moment. Do each of you want 250,000 in the month of March, which starts in about a week? If so, it is attainable, it's realistic, it's reasonable, but we need to have a model that we follow, and this is the model that we propose. If you don't understand the model, come over and go to spefunding.com and go through these trainings, and then you'll, I think, understand it. But what questions, what comments, what concerns do you all have? All right, so let's see. KE's talking about the cosigner, and that's a great point, and that does deserve some explanation. So we have a training on the cosigner here, but I'm going to answer KE's question. But yes, we'll provide a cosigner if that's a barrier, but that's specifically for the large loan, the $250,000 loan. We are not providing a cosigner for that upfront deposit. However, we do have over 40 different lenders that can get financing for the SPE clients for that deposit, because not everyone's going to be as strong as Harley, of course, right? He's extraordinary, but he's above average. Credit-wise at 690, that's around the U.S. average. His income is way above average, and we don't need that much to be able to get a $5,000 financing to cover the deposit. But just to answer KE's question and clarify, so we're not providing the cosigner for that initial deposit. No, we're providing the cosigner if needed for the larger capital raise, the 250. And that was a good question that needed to be clarified. Rod asked, will the deposits be at the bank of the client's choosing? Absolutely. Yeah. So we're providing the SPE, and with that SPE, then the client, the owner of the SPE, will open their own bank account. They'll be the only one on the bank account. They'll control it. No one else has access to it, and it can be at whatever bank they want. So Rod, you're correct. So there's no funny business of it's going into some other account that they don't have access to. No, it's real money being really earned going through. It's just we're subsidizing by providing the clients. Because what we've learned, even though we've had our affiliate program for a long time, not everyone is motivated or effective in going out and educating and building financial literacy. We want the SPE model to be successful 100% of the time, and it has been so far, and I anticipate it will be. But the reason is we provide the three C's. We're not depending on the client to bring any of the three C's, because when we've tried that in the past, we've sometimes been disappointed. Hopefully that answered your question, Ron. All right. Mark asked about the SPE document. So that's a good point. So let's go back and bring up Harley's deal. And let's go up to the top page. So each of you, if you're going to operate your SPE, we will set up, as I mentioned right here, we're going to create a landing page for you to drive your prospects to if you're wanting to generate your own clients, but you don't have to. And we're going to set up an e-contract. It's going to look almost exactly like this, except instead of having our information, it's going to have your information. But the bottom line is we are providing specific deliverables. And with the license fee, which is not paid out of pocket, it's paid out of financing, this is where we're providing to the client, we're providing them the compliant C Corp with the documentation, including the EIN and the articles of incorporation. And then that's what they're going to need to open a bank account. So that is provided, Mark, in that second step. So it's important to see we have the deposit step and then we have the license step. None of it has to be paid out of pocket. All of it is paid out of financing, but there are two steps. So it's important to understand it's not a free program. The client's total capital raise, separate from earned income, which is the icing on the cake, but from the loan, the loan is guaranteed to be 250,000, and that's in writing. And of that 250,000, they're going to keep 90%, and 10% of that are cost for the model, and those costs for the model are described here and here. Hopefully that makes sense. And again, if you've not gone through the trainings, this is where you'll learn a lot of the details. All right, let's see if there's any other questions. Christopher's asking, how to get started. So it's the same. So you come to spefunding.com. It's the same as I described. Come to spefunding.com. Please, please, please go through the training so you understand how it works in depth. It's on the honor system. If you don't do it, we won't know, but we prefer that you do it. You come over here to step 3. You click this. And it comes up with the same thing that I showed you with Harley, right? So this is the contract packet. The contract packet starts with the flyer, and then it has a one-page app. The top half of the app is optional. If they have business information, they put it in, and if not, they leave it blank, and then they fill out the bottom half. And that point, it comes in, and then we, without any hard inquiries, we get them their first tranche offers. And again, Harley's a real client, real example. Harley received around plus or minus 100 different cash offers totaling like $500,000. Does he have to accept all $500,000 now? No, he doesn't have to. But this is the first tranche, and then we'll pay off the first tranche with the second tranche, which is the the business funding. All right. Let's see here. Ryan has a question. I want to make sure I can understand it. And again, if anyone ever needs individualized assistance on spefunding.com, you have our direct phone number here. I'm always surprised by how many people call, and if we're busy, they don't leave a message. I would say 80% of the people that call us, if we are busy, because we have a call log, we have a pretty sophisticated call system, a call tracking system, they don't leave a message, which is weird. But if you call and we are not able to answer at the time, leave a message and then we'll get the right person to call you back. But let's see here. So the SPE contract, so we'll go back over here. The question that Ryan asked is that we're not asking the clients, the participants, to pay the 5,000 out of pocket. It's paid out of financing. And then when the license fee comes into play, which has all the deliverables, including the transference of those 25 clients to get the 250,000 income that comes from the license portion, that's not paid out of pocket either, Ryan. That's paid out of financing. So the model is to be a zero out of pocket model. All right, let's see if there's any other questions that I didn't cover. But with that being said, it's a real opportunity, I guess. You can participate if you would like. If you don't want to, don't. But I do encourage you each to pause for a moment today as we're getting near the end of February and ask yourself, what is your financial goal for March and how are you going to accomplish that? If you decide to give this a chance, if you'll participate, we can get you the 250,000 in March through earned income through the contracts we transfer. If you want, you can increase that even more by actually operating and developing your own clients, which you don't have to. And then after we have that 1 month of income, now we have the bank statement to show the business bank, that the lender, that we are a real business. We do have the ability to pay the loan back so we can go get the large loan. Hopefully all that makes sense, didn't overwhelm you. Appreciate your time. Let us know if there's anything that we can do for you. Again, you do have our direct number, 903-352-3390. That number is answered live, but if we have more callers than people to answer the phone, it could go into voicemail. Just leave a voicemail and we'll get back with you. Thanks, everyone. See you back tomorrow. Bye-bye.